Welcome all. We are here to dedicate the waterfront to John Selke, and the person that kind of got that ball rolling was Bob Williams, coach of the Schaumburg High School basketball team. Bob wrote a very compelling letter to the park board, and it went through our naming process, and we thought it was a great idea. In fact, Bob said, quote, "I know John to be a generous, thoughtful, moral individual who maintains high personal and professional standards. He is energetic, honest, hardworking, and highly motivated. John is a credit to his profession as he worked diligently and successfully each day to be the consummate athletic director and has consistently been selfless in his efforts to help others in the community." And you all know John, and you know how spot on that is, isn't it? There's one thing that Bob forgot in that, and that is John's positiveness. When I first joined the Rotary Club of Schaumburg Hoffman Estates, John was the president, and he was so energetic and so positive. I thought, well, that's because he's president, right? Wants to put on a good front and have everybody rally behind all the activities that we're going to do. Then the next year, he wasn't the president, and he was still really positive. And I thought, well, he's coming off a big year, and so he's kind of winding down a little bit. Nah, that's not the case. We all know how positive John is, and that's something that I've really learned from you, John, is no matter what's going on, put on a smile on your face, and you feel better, everybody around you feels better, and that's really true. So thank you for that. And you may be wondering why John is being an area in the Park District is being dedicated for John. Well, way back when, the Park District was formed in 1963. And at that time, there was one part-time employee, and that was Paul Durda. Some of you remember Paul fondly, his character. And we had one pool in 1969, and that was Civic Pool, and that's now renamed after Bob Bach, Spock Pool. And John was the assistant manager. Over the next few years, we built a few more pools, so then John's responsibilities grew, and he was the pool manager at Civic and Atcher and Meineke and the CRC outdoor pools. During that time, he ran a fundraiser called Swim for Heart, which helped the Heart Association. And he was the Chicagoland Swim for Heart Coordinator of the Year. I'm sure that doesn't surprise anybody that he jumped in with both feet. Jumped in, get it? Good. As our aquatics program grew, we included Volkening Lake to all of the pools, and we have the waterfront here, and we have canoes and paddle boats so people can go out and enjoy those. We rent those out on an hourly basis, and John organized that. He hired all the staff. He dealt with the personnel issues. He supervised all the swim programs and the lessons. And swimming is really a big thing. Swimming is certainly fun. You think of all the fun, but it's really a life safety issue. And so we are very encouraging people to make sure that their children know how to swim. So that's a big responsibility. When we were thinking about what area to name after John, we couldn't do a pool because we didn't want to take a pool away from Bob Bach or Mr. Atcher or Mr. Meineke. That wouldn't be very, very nice, would it, Bob? So, we certainly have athletic areas and things like that, but we thought it would be most appropriate, since John was the supervisor here at Volkening Lake, to name this waterfront, this small section of the Volkening Lake to John. So this will forever be known as the John Selke Waterfront at Volkening Lake.
Since John worked at the Park District, he's done had many major accomplishments here in the Schaumburg area. One of them that he started while in Rotary was the Johnny Paul basketball tournament. I believe John Paul was the first athletic director at Schaumburg High School. It's no longer going on now, but it was a successful tournament. He's also, if you look over to your right, over at the Schaumburg High School, there are lights on the athletic field. And I think John was very, very instrumental in getting those lights through various fundraisers in the district. He's also a member of the Knights of Columbus, and I believe he just recently made the rank of Grand Knight. I was going to say Grand Poobah, but that's the...
Same hat.
Same hat. John, I checked with Carmen to make sure I was right on this one, but John's a workaholic. And you may not have known that, but he's held down many, many positions that are paid and many, many that are volunteer. He's a school bus driver for 211. He's an auxiliary police officer here in Schaumburg. Matter of fact, he and I were partners on Village Hall security for a few years. And you'd think a man that does all this stuff with Rotary, with Knights of Columbus, that in the summer months when school's not on, he'd take a little time off. But instead of taking time off, he spent all summer long, at least since I've known him, working with his 2 grandchildren. And babysitting, but I don't know if I call it babysitting. You know, it's more enrichment time for the kids. So anyway, John, you've done a lot for Schaumburg since, worked for the Park District, and you continue to do a lot of work for us. And I just wanted to say thanks for a great job. I'd like